When I created The Woman in the Room, I chose the tagline, empowering women to lead the male-dominated workplace. I chose this tagline because I learned that when we assert ourselves as women, we have the power to change our workplace and create the work environment we always wanted. However, many women responded.
I don't want to lead men.
At first, I thought a lot of women lacked ambition, but then I realized they were deterred by our old school traditional definition of a leader.
We think of leaders as someone who is bold and confident enough to step forward, stand up in front of the group and declare, I know what to do. Leaders take charge, which then allows everyone else to sit back and wait to be told what to do.
This perception causes us to believe that leadership is about confidence, strength, and power. But we also secretly understand that when you're a leader, you're in a vulnerable position.
People will disagree with you, challenge you, and tell you that you're wrong. Some just want to keep doing things their way. Others want to replace you as the leader in order to advance themselves. They all play into your fears and self-doubt to make you back down. Many of us fall for these tactics because we know that if we're proven wrong, we will be blamed and discredited.
Being a leader in this traditional sense isn't easy, so I understand why so many women don't want to lead, and especially don't want to lead a group of men. Many of us also disqualify ourselves based upon the characteristics we associate with leaders and the idea that leaders are born, not made.
Men use their blue zone traits and the stereotypes to define leadership. As women, since we don't identify with these traits, we question if we have what it takes to be a leader. And even though our pink zone traits are full of strengths, we're taught to see ourselves through the stereotypes, which are used to diminish us and confirm men's natural superiority.
Until recently, our traditional concept of leadership worked. But now, we're in the 21st century, and everything has become more complex. And it's our good old friend complexity that makes our traditional concept of leadership not only outdated, but ineffective.
Watch my video, Complexity is a Bitch and a Feminist, to understand why complexity demands we throw out the stereotypes and value both men's and women's traits so they work together in harmony.
Complexity also demands we incorporate women's pink zone traits into our concept of leadership and change how leaders behave.
This means we have to stop seeing our workplace through the blue zone's horizontal and vertical lines that create the organizational hierarchy. This organization allows leaders to only care about who is above them and who is below them. This perspective is too limited for the way we work today. In today's complex workplace, work flows back and forth across the various functional areas. Everyone depends on other people both in and out of their functional area to do their job. Because we work in such an integrated system, leaders who are only experts in their function can't have all the answers and can't know the best way to deal with every situation.
Today's leader must rely on the input of others. And that's why all that blue zone thinking that drives our traditional concept of leadership fails miserably.
The linear hierarchy restricts communication. Workers don't know if information is getting up to the right leader. Leaders don't know if they're getting all of the important information. They don't know what information is being filtered or skewed. They don't know whether the information serves the best interests of the workplace or just personal interests.
We all know the broken communication systems within our workplace. To fix them requires us to assert our pink zone traits.
When we assert our pink zone traits, we lose the linear hierarchy and the restrictions on communication. We then apply our circular perspective, and the leader moves to the center to stand within and among everyone. Standing among everyone gives us power with people instead of power over people.
Of course, many men don't want to lead this way, and they're going to give us the excuse,
You're going to create chaos.
But their real reason is that they think they're going to lose their hierarchical power and status. But since we're women, we aren't going to make leadership about our ego.
We understand that as the leader, our job is to coordinate and integrate the tasks and activities of the various functions and personnel in order to fix problems and drive high performance. This requires everyone's input. By leading from within, we encourage interaction and communication across functional areas. We empower everyone to express their expertise and perspective. We create a positive, collaborative environment where teamwork thrives. And as for ourselves, we earn the ultimate workplace reward: respect.
For many women, being a leader is scary because we don't like the pressure that comes from all the attention on us. Leading from within fixes that because the attention is spread out to all the team members.
Most men are comfortable asserting themselves and their ideas. However, not all women are. So as the leader, we recognize the importance of everyone's expertise and draw it out into the discussion. We help every team member understand that no matter what their job is, their voice is critical.
When we use a circular perspective of leadership, we realize our workplace hierarchy is just about designating who has the authority to make certain decisions and take certain actions on behalf of our workplace. The hierarchy designates managers. It does not designate leaders.
From a circular perspective, we realize everyone can exercise leadership, and true leadership has no boundaries. When we see any action that negatively affects people or performance, we can always choose to exercise leadership, speak up, and do what's right. Of course, someone with more authority can always dismiss us.
But we should never let that deter us because true leaders always fight for what's right. And in my experience, even though it takes some time and some work, doing what's right ultimately wins out. That's because most people want to do the right thing because it makes them feel good about themselves. So even though there is a delay, leadership makes an impact. And we have to get past this idea that leadership needs to make an immediate or big impact. More often, leadership is about creating the slow, step-by-step journey of moving in a new and better direction. Leaders and managers are not the same. Managers accept and work with things as they are, even if they don't like them. Leaders change them. So anyone in any position who wants to improve or change the status quo can become a leader. To become a leader, you just have to accept responsibility, whether it's for creating a change or standing up for what's right. That can be scary, especially if you're a lone voice. But then, that's how most great leaders began.
To learn more about women's leadership, watch these videos. This is Dot Callahan asking you to help me turn the woman in the room into the women in the room. Sign up for my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or follow the Woman in the Room on social media. It's up to you. Just keep watching and sharing my videos to get advice from a woman who's been there, dealt with that, and knows what works.